So you're sitting at your desk. It's 2:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. You have a meeting in 13 minutes about the meeting you had this morning. And somewhere between refreshing your inbox and pretending to read a spreadsheet, a thought crosses your mind. What if you just left and became a trucker towards sunset forever? Right now, there are about 3.5 million truck drivers in the United States. They move roughly 72% of all freight in the country. Everything in that office you're sitting in got there on a truck. So today we're spending one full day inside that life. From the alarm going off at 3:48 a.m. to parking somewhere in Ohio wondering how you got there. No glossy recruitment ad, just what a regular OTR day actually looks like. OTR stands for over the road. It means you're not coming home tonight, or tomorrow night, or for the next 2 to 3 weeks. Your home is this, a Kenworth T680, or something close to it. About 250 square feet of space if you're generous with the math. There's a bunk, a mini fridge, a small freezer, a power inverter that runs a microwave, and a diesel heater that works even when the engine is off. For AC, you idle the truck, which your company pays for. The second bunk technically fits a spouse. In practice, it fits about 4 days worth of snacks and a bag of clothes you keep meaning to reorganize. The alarm goes off at 3:48 because you did the math last night on how many miles you need to cover, and this is the number you landed on. You microwave something, a burrito, leftover rice, whatever you bought 2 days ago at the Pilot in Indiana. Then comes the pre-trip inspection. The DOT requires you to check 110 items on your truck before every single drive. Tires, brakes, lights, mirrors, coupling, fuel lines, the works. It takes about 35 minutes. Every morning. Rain, snow, 14 degrees in January somewhere outside of Green Bay. By 4:30 you're rolling. The highway is empty. There's maybe one other set of headlights a mile ahead. Your podcast starts. The truck settles into cruise control at 65. This is the part that doesn't show up in job listings. The quiet. 3 hours of just moving through the country while everyone else is still asleep. Truck drivers get paid by the mile. The average company driver earns somewhere between 45 and 55 cents per mile. Drive 550 miles, pocket around $250 for the day before taxes. In a full week, that adds up to roughly $1,000 to $1,100 after taxes. The company covers fuel, maintenance, insurance, and the truck itself. You cover snacks. Each tank on a standard semi holds around 125 gallons. Diesel costs what diesel costs. You hand over a company card and don't think about it. One of the few genuine perks of being a company driver. Speaking of company drivers, when you start out, that's what you are. The company owns the truck. You drive it. They handle breakdowns, roadside help, all the paperwork that would otherwise consume your life. Some companies will pitch you something called a lease purchase program instead. You own the truck while paying it off through your earnings. In theory, it sounds like a path to independence. In practice, the margins are tight enough that a lot of drivers end up earning less than they would as a straight company employee. Do your homework before signing anything. Around 9 a.m., you pull into a distribution center somewhere outside Nashville. A guard checks your paperwork. You get assigned to dock door 23. Now you back a 53-foot trailer into a space with about 3 feet of clearance on each side. If you've never done this, here's the honest version. When you turn the steering wheel left, the trailer goes right. Your brain knows this, but your hands don't. Not yet. New drivers spend 20 to 30 minutes on a single backing maneuver. Experienced drivers do it in 2 or 3 moves and climb out looking like they were just parked there the whole time. You get it done. The dock door goes up, and then you wait. This is called a live load. The warehouse crew loads your trailer while you sit there. Could be an hour. Could be 3. You have no control over this. There's a system called detention pay. After a set window, usually 90 minutes to 2 hours past your scheduled time, the carrier starts paying you an hourly rate for waiting, around $18 to $25 per hour, depending on your company. It sounds reasonable until you realize you're still earning less per hour waiting than you would driving. So every hour at the dock is money you're not making on the road. The load you actually want is called a drop and hook. You pull in, drop your trailer, grab a preloaded one, and leave. The whole stop takes 15 minutes. Drivers love drop and hook the way office workers love a meeting that ends early. By noon, you're back on the highway heading toward Atlanta. 400 miles to go. You've got a thermos of coffee, half a bag of trail mix, and 6 more hours of a podcast about Roman history. Around 2 p.m., the ELD starts mattering more. ELD stands for Electronic Logging Device. It's a tablet mounted in the cab that tracks every minute of your day. Moving, resting, sleeping, on duty, but not driving. Federal law says you can drive a maximum of 11 hours within a 14-hour window after coming on duty. After that, you need 10 consecutive hours off before you can drive again. Before ELDs became mandatory in 2017, a lot of drivers fudged their paper logs. Pencil miles, they called it. The ELD killed that. Now the clock is real, and everyone knows it. Which means parking becomes a genuine strategy. Truck stops fill up fast. By 4 p.m., the easy spots are gone. By 6 p.m., you're circling. By 7 p.m., you're parking on an on-ramp and hoping nobody notices. There are around 313,000 truck parking spaces in the U.S. There are 3.5 million truck drivers. You do that math. Most experienced drivers start their day between 3 and 4 a.m., specifically so they can wrap up driving by mid-afternoon and have first pick of parking. It's not glamorous planning, but it's the kind of thing that makes your week dramatically less stressful. There's an app called Trucker Path. It shows real-time parking availability at truck stops across the country, user-submitted reports, reviews from other drivers. You find a spot at a Flying J outside Chattanooga at 4:40 p.m. You back in between 2 other Kenworths, shut the engine down, and sit there for a second. You've driven 487 miles today. That's roughly the distance from New York City to Detroit. In one day. On your own. In a vehicle the length of a bowling lane. The truck stop has a shower. You get a free shower credit every time you buy more than 50 gallons of diesel, which you do every time you fuel up, which is every day. The showers are cleaned between every use. They're small, they're functional, and after 10 hours behind the wheel, they feel like a spa. Dinner is from the truck stop deli or from your microwave. Tonight, it's both, because you bought something optimistic 3 days ago, and it expires tomorrow. This is also when you figure out tomorrow. You check the tablet for your next load assignment. Pick up in Smyrna, Tennessee at 7 a.m. Drop in Louisville by 3 p.m. 280 miles. Now, let's talk about the stuff nobody puts in the recruitment brochure. The schedule. A standard OTR driver is out for 2 to 3 weeks, then home for 3 to 4 days. That's the trade. Miles for time. If you have a family, a dog, a plant you care about, this is the conversation you need to have before you sign anything. There's a reason regional and local trucking jobs exist. Regional drivers cover a set territory and get home on weekends. Local drivers get home every night, but usually earn less per mile. After 1 to 2 years of OTR experience, those positions become available to you. The industry rewards time served more consistently than almost any other trade. The physical side is real. You sit for up to 11 hours a day. Drivers who don't build in movement, who eat exclusively from truck stop convenience stores, who skip sleep to make miles, burn out within 2 years. Drivers who treat it like any other physical job, walk during breaks, sleep their full 10 hours, eat something that isn't a hot dog on a roller grill, those drivers work for decades. The mental side gets less attention. Long stretches alone, nights in unfamiliar parking lots, missing things at home. Some people genuinely thrive in that environment. Some people discover 3 weeks in that they don't. Both outcomes are worth knowing before you commit. Now, the other side of this, what experienced drivers actually earn. After 1 year of clean driving history, your options expand considerably. Tanker endorsement, hazmat certification, oversized load permits. Each one opens a new pay bracket. Tanker drivers hauling fuel average $65,000 to $75,000 a year. Hazmat drivers earn a premium on top of that. Walmart's private fleet pays their drivers over $90,000 a year, with full benefits. The requirement is 30 months of verifiable experience and a clean record. No degree, no connections, no interview in a glass building. The CDL itself takes about 7 weeks to get. Some carriers offer paid CDL training in exchange for a 1-year commitment to drive for them. You come in with nothing and leave with a license and a job. There are not many industries where that sentence is still true. Getting your Class A CDL costs between $3,000 and $10,000 if you pay out of pocket at a private school. If a carrier sponsors you, the cost is zero up front. You work it off through your first year of employment. The written test covers traffic laws, vehicle inspection, air brakes, hazardous materials basics. The skills test is 3 parts: pre-trip inspection, basic vehicle control in a closed course, and an on-road drive with an examiner. Backing is where most people struggle. Parallel parking, alley docking, straight line backing. You practice these in a yard until they stop feeling impossible, which takes most people about 2 to 3 weeks of daily repetition. Once you pass, you typically spend 4 to 6 weeks with a trainer on actual OTR runs before going solo. Your trainer has their own load schedule, and you ride along, drive portions of the route, and learn things that don't exist in any manual. Things like which truck stops have the shortest fuel lines on Monday mornings, which dispatchers respond to messages after 6 p.m., why you never park at the back row of a Love's in Ohio in February. Speaking of dispatchers, your dispatcher is the person who assigns your loads, manages your schedule, and is your main point of contact with the company while you're out. The relationship matters. A dispatcher who understands how you work can make your life significantly less complicated. Communication happens through that tablet. Load assignments, delivery confirmations, check calls, all of it runs through the ELD system. Some carriers have modernized this. Others are still running software that looks like it was designed during the Clinton administration. Weather deserves its own mention. Driving a fully loaded semi in an ice storm on I-80 through Wyoming is an experience that will permanently recalibrate your relationship with winter. You can pull over. You're allowed to wait it out. Experienced drivers do this regularly and do not apologize for it. A loaded truck can weigh up to 80,000 pounds. Stopping distance at highway speed in dry conditions is about 400 feet. In wet or icy conditions, that number goes up fast. Most accidents involving trucks happen because of pressure to keep moving. Tight schedules, dispatcher expectations, the feeling that stopping costs money. The drivers who last 20 years are the ones who internalized early that the truck stops when conditions say it stops. There's a culture out here that takes a while to understand from the outside. Truckers flash their lights to tell each other it's safe to merge. They leave reviews on Trucker Path about which scales are running and which rest areas have broken showers. There's a CB radio culture that's faded but hasn't disappeared entirely. It's a profession that asks a lot and doesn't always advertise what it gives back. But talk to someone who's been doing it for 10 years and you'll usually hear the same thing. They tried something else first. The office, or the warehouse, or the retail job. And this fit in a way the other things didn't. So, you've been at this desk for 6 minutes. The meeting about the meeting starts in 7. Now you know what it's like to work as a trucker. Good luck, guys.